Good night and welcome, CSEC scholars. We're at class 3 in our formula series. So in this series, we look at the different formulas that we use in mathematics. We break them down. We find out how the formulas were derived. We find out when we use these formulas, why we use these formulas, how we use these formulas. And tonight we're going to be focusing on perimeter. So we're going to dive right into it as soon as I remind you of our schedule of live classes. So get your pens and your books to write down the schedule if you're still not versed on which days we do what. We have 6 live CSEC classes per week. So here we go. Here's the schedule. Hello, CSEC math students. I know you are busy preparing for your math test CSEC exams coming up. I have a very important question to ask you. Do you like my new hat? Thank you. Now, another important question. Have you ever gotten a math problem wrong simply because of making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. Now, in this series, we're going to be looking at the mistakes that students make with all in math. We're going to look at common errors, demystify everything, make sure you watch every video in this series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So stay tuned. Hello, did you know that most times students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single error or one mistake? Well, this is absolutely true. We're going to be looking at the common errors that students make in the different topics in math. All right, here we go. So I'm going to share the screen so you can see the different formulas, and I'm going to invite my scholars to join on the screen. My student crew always ready. All right, so welcome, Imani.
Good night, miss.
Welcome, Rashawn.
Good night, miss.
Good night. Tahira. Can you pronounce your name, please? Is it Tahira? Not sure how to pronounce. Welcome, scholars, into the studio, and we're going to be looking at perimeter. It's a very straightforward, very simple concept. So when we're talking about perimeter, we're talking about the distance around the outside of a shape. Very simple, right? Very straightforward. plane and straight. For polygons, by polygons we mean any shape that is closed, that has straight sides, and that is flat. That's a polygon. Closed, the sides are straight, and it's a plane figure, flat. It's not raised up off the ground. So it has two dimensions. If it's raised up, it will have an additional dimension, which is height. So then we'd get to the concept of volume. So for polygons, we add the distance around the edges, plain and simple. But there are other flat, not polygons, that we can also find the perimeter of. For example, a circle or an irregular shape that's a combination of some straight sides and some curved parts. We can also find the perimeter of those shapes. For the circle, we have a special name that we give to the pyramid, and we call that the circumference. And we're going to get into that a little later on. So we're going to start with the polygons. And I just defined those for you. We're looking at some regular polygons, except for the guy down below, which we all know is a circle. So the circle is not a polygon. The others that we're looking at, the triangle, the square, and we have a five-sided figure, which is a pentagon, and then the six-sided figure, the hexagon, and we have 7 sides, 8 sides, right? Heptagon, octagon, and we can go all the way up. Now the regular polygons have equal sides. So it's pretty straightforward that if the perimeter is the distance around the edge of the polygon or of the shape, and if the shape has equal sides, then if you want the perimeter, just count up how many sides, right? And multiply that by the length of each side. So take, for example, an equilateral triangle, which is a regular polygon. It has 3 equal sides. We have other triangles that are not regular, meaning they don't have the same length for the sides. We can have isosceles triangles where 2 sides are equal and 1 is not. We can have scalene triangles, 3 different sides, and so on. But for the equilateral, all 3 sides are equal. So if we know the length of one side and we want the perimeter of the equilateral triangle, so let's say the length is 10 centimeters. The perimeter would be 10 times 3 because it's 3 equal sides. For the other kinds of triangle, for example, the equilateral triangle, the isosceles triangle, the 2 equal sides, you could multiply the side by 2, and then you add the side that is different. For the scalene, 3 different sides, so you'll just have to add them up. The next polygon we're looking at here is the square, which has 4 equal sides. It's a regular polygon. So if we know the length of one side and we want the perimeter, we just multiply that length by 4. Same for the pentagon. If you know one side, if it's a regular pentagon, you know one side, you multiply the sides by 5, and so on and so on. If they are irregular, meaning different lengths for the side, so you can have an irregular pentagon. It has 5 sides, but they are different lengths. So you would have to add all the sides. Now, we're going to get to the circle a little later on. So I'm going to go to the other slide. So this shape that you're looking at here, what's the name of that shape? Does it have a name? No name?
It's an irregular polygon.
It's an irregular polygon. Yes, John? Welcome, John.
Miss, I was here the entire time. So am I.
I'm just realizing that you're there.
Miss, I'm also here.
Some say I'm giving you a special welcome. All right, so Camille in the chat is saying it's an irregular shape. It's an irregular polygon. Welcome, DK, our good friend. Welcome, Zion. Remember, guys, post your answers. Even though you're not in studio, post your answers, post your questions. So we're looking at an irregular polygon. So tell me now, based on what we've said so far, what is the perimeter of the irregular polygon? Post your answers. Let me hear. And those in studio, your answer. What's the perimeter of that polygon?
Miss 47, Miss.
All right, 47. Is there any other answer? Any other answer?
Miss, I'm marking it.
No, Miss 57, 57.
All right, so you're changing that to 57. Okay.
5. Wait, let me just recheck. Miss, I got 55.
You got 55, Imani?
Yes, Miss. I'm checking again.
Are you sure?
Miss, I'm rechecking.
Please do. That's a good idea. Any other answer? Any other answers? None in the chat? Come on. Let me. Okay, so persons are saying 57. Persons are saying 78. Zion is saying 78.
Miss, I have 78.
Imani
I got
say, what
78.
was your pen? Oh, you changed your mind?
Yes, I recalculated.
Oh. So Zion, who got 78? Remember, you're in the chat, so fast, and Imani, if Zion is taking too long, you're going to have to explain. So you got 78.
Okay, Miss.
Giving him 5 more seconds. All right, go ahead, Imani. Oh, you got 78 for that.
Miss, is it
All right,
correct?
so Zion is saying you have to find the missing sides. So
Yes,
fill us in,
Miss.
Imani. Go ahead.
Okay, Miss. So to find the side that is parallel to 14 feet, that's not the 5 foot, the one over it that's not there. You would subtract 5 feet
Yeah.
from 14 feet to get the missing side right there, which is 9 feet.
All right, so tell me, can you see my moving?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, my cursor? Yes. All right, so what Imani is saying, this is the side she's saying. This side is parallel to the 14. This side is missing. So how do we know how much this side is?
Miss, by subtracting 5 from 14.
I get 9.
Right. So if we notice the 5 and this side would add up to give 14. So we have to take the 5 from the 14 to get this missing side. So the other missing side now is this, right, Imani?
Yes, Miss, which is 12 feet.
So how we're going to find this missing side?
Miss, we subtract 13 feet from 25 feet.
All right, because we realize that the full 25 feet is the same as this distance plus that distance, right?
Yes,
so we
Miss.
take the 13 from the 25 and we get this here. So how much would that be?
Miss, 12 feet.
12. So that means, so those persons who got 57, you just added up the numbers that were given. But that's a trick. And believe me when I tell you, if it was a multiple choice question, you would see 57 as one of the options and you would choose it and you would be wrong. When we're given polygons like this, we have to fill in the missing sides and add those up. So it's 25 plus 14 plus 13 plus 5 plus 9 plus
Plus 12.
12. So in all, it's 78 feet. All right, let's move on. So here we have, these are what? Crackers.
Oh, Miss
So
Jay Sean said he's backstage.
oh, Drayshawn is here. That's what happened when you're late. You have to stay. See? So persons must be right, Drayshawn. Welcome, Drayshawn.
Hi, Miss.
All right. Welcome. You are very, very late, sir. Push-ups. And while you're doing those, Camille, do you understand now why it's not 57? Okay. And all those who had said 57, hope you realize why it's not. We have crackers. So this is to show you the real concept in that. All right. If you are given, let's say these, no. So these are in the form of a square, 4 rows by 4 columns. So we know the perimeter is the distance on the outside. What problem? The distance on the outside. Can't see. Students, are you able to see the screen clearly?
Yes, yes, Miss.
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Those in the chat, can you see the screen clearly? Just type yes or no. Can you see and the screen? All right, so other persons are on the screen clearly. All right, those who want to join, if they can join in the studio, certainly you are welcome to join. I'm going to post that link for you now in the chat. So anytime you want to join us in your studio, you're welcome. Just know that there's a limit and the system will decide. Not I'm not the one who decides. The first 5 or so are allowed. So if you really want to be on the screen with us, you have to make sure you're early. All right, so let's continue. So this is a square. So we know we just count the units along the edge. Perimeter is along the edge. No, perimeter is not concerned with the inside of the shape, okay? For this one, so you would have to go around that edge, that edge, that edge, that. So we just count the units all the way along the edge, whichever shape it have. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? Along the edge. Even this irregular looking one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 again. All right. So just want you to get that concept clear in your head. Perimeter is on the outside. And sometimes when you're asked to find the perimeter, you are going to be given distances on the inside as a kind of trick, or just to test that you really understand what you're doing. Don't concern yourself with any figures on the inside. Only concern yourself with the outer edge. So, for example, for this triangle, and by the way, what kind of triangle is it?
Isosceles.
How do we know it's an isosceles triangle?
Miss, because they're two equal sides.
There are
Of the
2 equal
angles I
sides
see.
and one that is not equal. All right. So
What
what
is
would be the
different?
perimeter of that triangle?
Miss 15 miles.
So 6 plus 6 plus 3, right?
Yes.
15.
And remember to give our units. Perimeter is just single units. Area is in square units, and volume is in cube units. So perimeter just centimeter, miles, meters, whatever, not squared. Here we have another diagram. Sorry, and this one I wanted to point out again the idea that the perimeter is on the outer edge. But let's say we were asked to find the perimeter of the red rectangle. Then we know we'd have to focus on the red rectangle, right? So what would be the perimeter of the red rectangle? We're not given any centimeters or anything. So when we get our answer, we have to put the word units beside it.
It's 12
It's 12
squares.
units.
Miss 12 units, miss.
Are you
It's 12
sure?
units.
Miss, you said
The perimeter of the red rectangle.
Miss 1, 2, 6 plus 6 is 12
The
plus 4
perimeter.
is 16. 16 units, Miss.
16 units, not 12. So 6 and 6, that's the two lengths. And then 2 plus 2 is the two widths. So that's 16. All right. So basically we're saying for the triangle, the perimeter is side plus side plus side. If it's an equilateral triangle, side times 3. Isosceles triangle, 2 times A plus B, since it's two equal sides. But generally speaking, just add the 3 sides, right? For the square, since all the sides are equal, it's 4 times the length of each side. For the rectangle, 2 lengths are the same, 2 widths are the same. So the perimeter of the rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, or 2 times A plus B. You don't see the rectangle with numbers? The red one that we just did? So there are no numbers, but we count the little boxes. We count the sides of each box. All right, so a student is asking about the rectangle that we just did. So the student is saying they don't see any numbers along the sides. So we don't have any numbers, but we see that it's on a grid, right? And the grid has units. So for each side of the little boxes, we count that as 1 unit. So that's 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, and so on. So in all, we got 16 little units around. So we're saying for the rectangle, since the lengths are the same and the widths are the same, the perimeter of the rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Or if all else fails, remember the basic idea of perimeter is to add all the sides. So if you don't want to say 2 times length plus 2 times width, just add up the length plus the length plus the width plus the width. Any quadrilateral, and remember we have different types of quadrilaterals. Quad means 4. Lateral means side or length. So a quadrilateral simply means a 4-sided figure. And we have several 4-sided figures, several quadrilaterals. We have square, rectangle, rhombus, parallelogram, kite, trapezium. All of those are quadrilaterals. They have 4 sides, but they're shaped different, right? But whichever one it is, once it's the perimeter you want, you just add the 4 sides. Simple as that. Add the 4 sides. If it's the square, since all sides are equal in the square, you multiply each side by 4. All right. So those were the points I think we went a
little like about, but this time we're focusing on the circle. Camille is saying it's really hard to get on. Just follow the link, Camille, because we can have, or I think we're probably full. Yeah. So when we're doing, if you're gonna come up for the midnight class tonight, remember we have our multiple choice class night. Just make sure you are there exactly at midnight, because the system will only let in the first 5 or so guests. All right, so let's focus on the circle. We said that there's a special name that we give to the perimeter of a circle. Call it the circumference. To find the circumference, it's 2 times pi times the radius. The radius is this little line you see here. This line that runs from the middle of the circle to the circumference, right? So halfway across the circle. That's the radius. So if you want to find the circumference, it's 2 times pi times the radius. So what is pi? What do you mean by pi?
Miss
22/7 or 3.14.
the 3.4,
22/7 or
the
3.14. If we
3.14,
want it in decimal form, 3.14. If we want
3.14,
it in fraction form, 22/7. So 2 times pi times the radius will give you the circumference, which is the special name we give to the perimeter of the circle. Now look at that shape under the circle. That's called a sector. And usually we refer to it as a slice of pie or a slice of pizza. If you want to find the perimeter of that sector, you would have to find the arc. So look where I'm pointing. This curved part here is the arc, right? The curved part. The arc is a fraction of the circumference. So basically you would use the same 2 pi r, but you would multiply that by, you see the sign they have here, theta. They say theta is the angle in radians. Or you can, well, for our purposes, we don't use radians, we use degrees. So you'd multiply it by the degree that the angle subtends over the full 360. So 2 pi r times theta over 360 in degrees. And when you get that answer, that would be for the arc right here. So you would also now have to add the radius and the other radius. Do you see that? To get the total perimeter of the sector. Any questions on this one?
no, miss.
All right. So let's move on. All right. So here's some activity for you. Find the perimeter of these figures. Let me raise it up a bit in case you're not seeing it clearly. So let me lift everything up. Can you see everything?
Yes, miss, it was clear from earlier.
All right. So what's the perimeter of the first shape? So that's what, 3 points.
Miss
3.8.
16.6 kilometers.
Miss
16.6 kilometers.
16 point what? 6
Miss 6
kilometers.
yes, miss.
Kilometers.
All right, so that's correct. So it's 4.5 times 2 plus 3.8 times 2, or 4.5 plus 4.5 plus 3.8 plus 3.8, right? All right, and for
Yes.
number 2, the second rectangle, what's the perimeter?
Miss 23 kilometers, miss.
How
Miss
you got
23
that?
kilometers.
Tell me how you got that.
Miss it's because um on a rectangle, two sides are equal, miss.
Mm-hmm.
So I plus I times 7.5 times 2, and I got 15 point
Right.
0, and then a
Mm.
plus, and then I times 4 by 2, and I got 8, and 15 plus 8 is 23.
All right, very good. Okay, how about number 3? What's the perimeter of number 3? So we have the top length is, so that's a trapezium, right? That's a trapezium, two parallel
Yes, miss.
sides. Okay.
Miss, I
And
got 1,536 centimeters.
who?
Miss, half a
1,000, I have to write down that figure.
36.
1,536. Tell me how you got that as a perimeter.
Oh no, wrong thing. Oh,
You calculated the
So
area.
why you make my bother write it down, Imani?
sorry.
You know, some need my paper to write down things, and you make me waste my paper. Okay, so what should I write down? Go again. What's the perimeter?
Hmm.
No,
Miss
no,
one,
I need
miss I got 160, miss 160 centimeter.
160.
Yes, miss.
Or how you got 160?
Miss because um they are missing side. There's a missing side without a number, miss. So
All right, so that missing side is how
6
much?
Miss, it would be 30
60 centimeter.
centimeters.
How much?
It should be
Say
16
again, how much? The missing side is how much? This side here, how much is it?
Miss, it would be 32 centimeters.
It's 32, just like this one, right?
Yes,
Same
miss.
distance.
Yes, miss.
All right. So what we're adding up then? So we'd
Miss,
add
32
Which
plus
one you
32.
add
56
32,
plus
32,
48 plus
56,
40,
40,
So
which would
and
give you
32
40.
176
plus 40
plus 48
Miss,
48
miss, miss. It's
plus
plus 56.
56.
miss, it's 208, but miss, I got 208.
You got
Miss, I did the same
208.
thing, but I got
Yes.
208.
So when you add 56 and 48 and 32 and 40, you
Miss, I
got
got
200,
Miss, I got
Oh,
176.
well,
I
miss,
got
oh,
150,
miss, I
seventy
added
miss 32, I
32
got
twice.
208.
Yes, miss, it's 176. So I added
176.
32 twice.
Why wouldn't we add this one again?
Miss, because the height is used to is when you're
Miss
finding the
because
area
perimeter is round,
and it's
around.
around. Yeah.
Perimeter is on the outside, right? Perimeter is only around the edge on the outside. So we don't need this 32. And if you had added the 32 to get what? 208, that answer might very well be there waiting for you. Because the examiners know the likely mistakes that you might make. So they know that some people are going to add this twice. Some people are going to add it for here and for here. So they're going to put that answer there waiting for you, right? So remember, it's only on the outside. So that plus that plus that plus that. All right, so let's go now. What's the perimeter of number 4?
Miss 730 meters.
Yeah, 730.
It's 730.
So get that, right? Everybody got that?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, miss.
Yes, yes.
Okay. How about number 5?
That's
Perimeter for number 5.
34 meters, Miss.
34.
Miss, that's what I
All
got.
right, so tell me how you got 34.
Okay, Miss. So the
Tell me how you
24.
got 34.
But miss, did she say 24? So I got 24.
What number you said, Imani?
34, Miss.
Tell me how you got 34.
Miss, I did 5 plus 5 plus 7 to get the bottom length, and then added that to the 5s and the 7.
Hold on. You add 5 plus 5 plus 7 to get
Yes, miss, we need
this.
to add another 7. Miss,
Oh yeah.
What's the length of the bottom?
oh wait.
What's the length of the bottom?
But miss, isn't it
Miss,
12?
Miss would be 9,
Miss, is
Miss
it
9,
12
because
or
plus 5
9?
plus 4. Miss 9, Miss.
For the bottom?
Yes, Miss 9.
But why?
Because
Miss, isn't it 12?
Why?
Miss 7. Wait. Yes, miss, we need to add.
So what down here so have to do with the 5?
Oh. Oh, okay, never mind.
What does down here have to do with this length?
Miss, because it's 5 is parallel to the
5 isn't parallel to anything up there. Why did you say 5 is parallel? Look at it carefully now. We know that this is 5 because this part is 5 because it have the same stroke as this one, right? And in maths, when you're looking at diagrams, if they have the same stroke across them, the sides are equal. So this is 5, this is 5, right? We know that this is 7. So that means right here is also 7. This part is also 7.
Yes,
But how much is this and this?
Miss
All
4,
right.
Miss.
Why is it 4? Imani and Dreshan, focus on the triangle and tell me what kind of triangle it is.
Miss, a 3, 4, 5 triangle.
Exactly. I call your names so that I know you're supposed to
Oh.
know that, right? I singled you out because I know personally you're supposed to know that. So it's a right angle triangle. It's a 4, 5, 3 triangle. So here's the right angle. They're telling us it's right angle. See that? Anywhere you see that box is right angle. So there's a special right angle triangle called the 5-4-3 triangle. It obeys Pythagoras' theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 4 squared plus 3 squared equals 5 squared. So we know this is 3. This is also 3. And that is 7. Like that. So tell me the perimeter now.
15. So Mr.
Perimeter.
would
So
be
3 plus
Thirty
6
Miss 30.
plus
meters.
3
This is
30
30.
meters.
30. Correct.
Miss
That's
30
30.
meters.
All right. How about that shape here? Number 6. What's the
It's
perimeter?
500.
Oh, okay.
But I know that. It's 140.
That's a very irregular shape.
This
So
is
let's
it
break it up.
680 meters in
No.
680.
centimeters. The 680 centimeters.
Tell me how you got that.
Miss I did 60 plus 60. Miss and the 1.4 meters. Miss you change that to centimeters. Miss which is 140 centimeters. So Miss 60 centimeters plus 60 centimeters plus 140 centimeters plus 140 centimeters. And miss the 20, miss since in the middle that part says that 20. So miss the side right beside.
All right. So you're saying the
No,
1.4 meters is how many centimeters?
miss 140.
140. Okay. So the 140 plus 140.
Yes,
So that's
me.
280.
Miss
All
280.
right. And then we have what? 60 and 60.
Yes, me.
So 280 plus 120. That's 400.
It's 400.
All right. And 40 and 40. That's
80.
480.
80.
And 20. 500 and 20.
500. 520.
520. 560. 600. And the
600.
240. So 680. Right?
680. Yes, miss. I got
Yeah,
that.
that's correct. That's correct. All right. How about these guys here?
Okay.
Find the perimeter of those circles, the circumference of those circles. The circumference is what? Pi r, 2 pi r.
2 pi
2
r
pi
miss.
r.
You can use
It's
pi
2
as
pi r.
22/7. If the number that you're working with
Is a whole. It doesn't have a
is
decimal.
a multiple of 7, right? Or even a, well, 7 itself, multiple of 7. But remember, the circumference is also the diameter times pi.
Pi, yes, miss.
The diameter times pi or 2 times the radius times pi. So since these circles are giving you the diameter, just multiply the diameter by pi.
It's
Miss 165 centimeters.
Okay, for the first
164.96
one.
centimeters.
And the second one.
Miss 11 centimeters.
It's
11 meters.
11.
Meters.
It's 11 meters.
And the third.
Miss 330
It's
centimeters.
329 or 330
All right,
rounded.
so you round it off. All right. How about these guys here? What's the perimeter?
Uh, Miss
24.9.
77 meters.
Yes, miss.
For the first one,
Yes, miss.
how you get it?
Miss 24.5 times 22 over 7.
Times what?
22 over 7 or
What
pi.
would that give you though?
Miss circumference.
But another circumference we have here. We have half of a circle.
Miss, that doesn't
Miss,
give you this.
that's Miss 4, Mr. 4.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay.
Times 1 over 4.
So pi times the diameter would give you the
Miss,
circumference,
would it
but
be 19.24?
tell me how you
Let's
got
say
it.
we cut it into half.
So you divide the circumference by 2, but look here, that will only give you this.
Miss, would you do
Miss, isn't
pi
that what you want?
times
No, you want the
Ah,
full perimeter of the shape.
Mister, isn't that the
what, Miss?
circumference?
No, ma'am.
So what is the what? What? What, Miss? Isn't circumference a special name for?
All right, look here. Is this a circle you're looking at?
Miss,
This is a
Oh,
Yes.
it's that semicircle.
Miss is a
It's
second.
half of a
So Miss
circle,
is
don't
down
it?
to 19.24.
But Dreshan, me ask
Eh,
yourself how you get it.
Miss, I've been trying to say that.
Go ahead, John. You have the floor.
So Miss, I did the more. Let us do. Miss, I did the pi. Miss, since it's a sector, Miss, which is a quarter of the circle. So Miss, I did a quarter.
Is that a sector? That's not a sector.
Well, it
That's a
isn't.
segment. But that's a segment. All right,
Eh,
go ahead.
what? So wait, Miss, what's a sec? Wait.
A segment is where a chord cuts the circle in two. A sector is where the radii, two radii cuts the circle in two. You could say it's a special case since the diameter is two radii, but generally speaking, we would say that's a segment. You see this shape here or out here? This is a sector where you have two radii cutting. This is a chord. The diameter is a chord, not a rad. It's two radii, but it's the longest chord in the circle. So back to this shape now. So since it's a semicircle, it's half of a circle, we can still use the 2 pi r or the diameter times pi to find the full circumference, divide that by 2,
Oh.
and that would give us this part. So now to get the perimeter, we have to add back the diameter to it. See? When we find half of the circumference, we'd have to add that to the diameter to get the total perimeter of this semicircle. Do you understand? Yes, no, maybe. Halfway. 1/10. 1/10 of a
Halfway.
way. So listen now.
Halfway.
Look at the shape. It's a semicircle, right? We agree, right?
Yes, Miss.
Half of a circle. Okay. It's half of a circle. So if we use the same formula and find the circumference, we'd have to divide that by 2 to get here, because this is half of the circumference. This. The other half would have completed the circle. Follow? So we find the circumference, divide it by 2, and we'll get the curved part. So the full perimeter now, we'd have to add this distance to it, which is the diameter. You're still not getting it. I don't hear like you're getting it.
Miss, I understand, miss. I understand, miss.
Imani and Dresha are not getting it. Are them show off?
No, Miss.
Am I losing?
I've this is the second one.
Diane,
cut off.
they get up and Camille. You get what I'm saying? Huh? Which still getting Imani? You get that this is a semicircle, right?
Yes. Yes, Miss.
That's not debatable. That's a fact. That's all right. So if we use the formula, if it was a full circle, 2 pi r would give the distance all the way around the circle. But it's a semicircle, it's half of a circle. So when we find the circumference, we have to divide it by 2 because it's just here, so it's just halfway
Yes,
around the
miss, that's what I
circle.
was saying earlier. That's what I was
But I'm
asking.
saying you also know
Me.
to add the diameter to it. That's the part.
Oh,
That's where you have to add the
I'm
diameter
missing the
because
perimeter.
yeah, because you want the
oh.
perimeter of the semicircle. So
Also
it's
miss the
here.
perimeter is 42 centimeter,
Everybody get
far 2
past 2.
meter, 42 meters.
Wait,
So when
miss,
you
wait,
find the
miss.
circumference,
Wait,
find the
miss.
circumference. It's 24.5 times 3.14. That's the circumference. Divide that by 2, we get
Miss say,
38.46. And then now we're going to add back the 24.5. So I get 62.965.
Yes, miss, 62.96.
Yeah,
miss,
that's what I get. Meters.
6.6.
okay.
So do the same thing for the second one now. It's the same diagram, just that they turn it upside down. So find the perimeter of that one.
21.90.
Okay.
Divided by 2. Miss, I got 17.99.
Correct.
I got 80. Oh, okay. I thought I was so.
18. I think one of you use the fraction and one use the decimal.
I used the
Miss, I
fraction.
used the decimal.
If you
Miss, I
use the
got
fraction,
18
the
miss.
2 sevens cancel, yeah. So you'd get the 22 divided by 2, which is 11, and add the 7, right?
Also, I always
Yes.
use the decimal. So
You use the
mine's always having to
okay.
It's with the
But
decimal
remember, I'm
part.
saying, you see, because the 7 is a multiple of 7, it's easy to cancel the 7. That if you have the 22 over 7, it's easy to just cancel it. So if you're using a number that's a multiple of 7, I think it's better you use the fraction.
Miss,
All
you
right, so
mean
what would you do for the third one? Do the
Miss,
third one now.
miss, I got my answer 108.70,
For the
0.75
for the
millimeters.
third one,
Yes, miss.
so what you do?
Oh, wait. No, add more. Wait, add more. Add. Okay, miss. Now I'm ready. I got 135 millimeters.
So how come me not get that?
Yes, miss. So I got the same thing. It's
You got the same thing, Dreshan?
134.71. Yes,
Yes, miss.
miss.
All right, so the two of you tell me what you did.
Miss, I
I
used
did
the
the
2
26.
pi r rule and then divided it by 2, and then I added 26.25 plus 26.25, which would be the diameter.
That's
Miss, I
what
got
you did,
This is
60.
Dreshan?
because it's the two strokes.
Dreshan,
Oh,
up here.
Yes,
Is the
miss.
same thing you did?
Yes, miss.
So two of you get catch.
Yeah.
Did
Unless
anybody do
because I
anything
use the decimal, miss,
Yes,
mine's
different?
one
miss,
off.
yes,
that's
miss.
wrong. Wait.
Miss, I
Hold
did
on.
You
something.
did
Yes,
something
miss.
different?
Yes, miss. Miss, my answer was
Two of you
67.5.
get catch. Two of you
Miss,
get catch.
my
Miss,
answer was
that is.
67.5.
What's the difference? What's the difference
Oh,
with the third one and the other?
Miss is not a
Huh?
factor of
Miss, it has
7.
two
It's a
strokes,
factor of
so
7.
Miss,
oh,
I
it's a
tell you
it is
quarter.
something.
the
It's a
same part.
quarter.
Not,
Miss is a quarter of the circle.
Miss, I got
Oh, okay.
67.5.
Right.
Miss,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
All right.
So
So
I,
Imani realize.
car.
Miss, I got
So do it
67.5.
properly now. Do it properly now. This one is not a semicircle, it's a quarter of a circle. You know, see that, Dreshan?
Oh, I just
So what
realized that.
difference we're going to do for this one?
Miss,
Yeah,
we're
you
Miss,
going to
can't
divide
realize,
by
you
Would
must
you
divide by
realize it
multiply it
4
from
miss.
by
day one.
the
Divide by
quarter?
4 miss.
Right. So when you get circumference, you divide it by 4.
By 4.
And 2
Oh. Okay, 26.25 times 22.
2
Miss
divided
93.75
by
million.
4. Everybody get that?
Miss, repeat, please.
Miss, I got
We just
20.
want to make sure
Wait.
everybody get this.
Miss, what's the answer? Miss, you gave the
So
answer
it's
just now?
no
Oh, okay.
26.25
Yes,
times
miss.
3.14 divided by 4. That's 20.606. And now we're going to add to that the 26.25. So 20.606.
Miss, I got 46.85.
Yes, Miss. 46.86.
26.25 plus 26.25. I know that me get.
Miss 93.75?
No.
What do you get?
No, no, no.
Miss, I got
What are you
46.
guys doing? All right, listen. Let's go from scratch again.
Okay.
So the circumference is
Who? Wait, the
2
circumference.
times the radius times pi, right? Okay, let's
Huh?
go.
What's the radius?
Right?
Miss,
2
wait,
times the
miss.
radius times pi, right?
Miss, I'm not getting this. Miss,
The circumference is 2 pi r. Let's go
no, miss,
again.
I'm talking about the image thing. So, wouldn't, Miss, how is it only quarter though? Wouldn't the rest of it
Because
be half
the
of it?
arc, this arc here,
Oh, oh,
the
okay.
arc is a quarter. So let's go.
Oh.
165.
26.25, right?
Yes, miss.
Times 3.14 times 2. That's
165.
164.85. And we're
165.
6.85,
going to
Miss.
divide that by 4.
Miss, I got 41.25.
Miss.
And now we're going to add
41.25.
26.25 plus 26.25 to that.
Miss.
So what you get?
Miss
93.71.
93.75. That's what I got. Miss, I got
0.71.
93.71.
Miss.
71.
Point seven one.
Yes. Yes, it's
Miss. I got
93.7.
0.71.
I get 0.75 and I got every answer that you guys got leading up to the adding back part.
The calculator need a break.
93.916. What am I saying? I missed
93.7.
93.716. Oh.
All right. So, but we're on the right track. We're on the same track.
Yes, miss.
All right. This is the last slide. This is the last
See,
one.
Miss 41.25. I got that and then when I added it
41.
back, I got 91.
41.21.
You're on the
41.21.
right track, Imani. You're just off by a couple decimal points. So we're just playing with you. Yeah, all right. You're good. So that's the last slide. So find the perimeter of the first shape.
Hmm.
What's the perimeter of the first shape? Let me hear the ideas. What are we doing? Our thought process here.
It's
Okay, so
first
when
thing you must
cut
look.
it, cut it. You're crazy, man.
Go ahead. You must look for what?
Oh,
Hmm? Go
Look
on.
for a missing.
Missing side. Which side is missing?
Miss the arts up there.
Hmm? The
It's the
arc.
top part of the square. The top part
Okay,
of
that's missing. Yeah, we're going to need to find that. Yeah. All right.
What's the perimeter of the rectangle? And remember, we only need the part that's on the outside, right? Tell me something. What is this length down here?
Miss Jason is backstage again.
Miss 4
Miss, it would
meters.
be 10 cent. Wait, no, 1.0 meter.
Okay, well.
Hmm?
Moderation get delayed. Miss, you got kicked off again. All right. What's on the bottom there?
Miss 10. Wait, no,
This.
or
Oh,
4.6 meters.
4 point what?
Wait, let me just make sure I'm doing this correctly.
Okay, so look, no, this is in meters, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's in centimeters. So we know we're going to have to do some conversion. For the 4 meters, how many centimeters is that? 100 centimeters make a meter.
400
So this
meters.
it's
is, all
200
400.
right, so
centimeters.
this is 400. And since these are parallel, see they meet at right angle, they are perpendicular and hence parallel to each other, like, okay? So this is also 400, right? Centimeters. It's not drawn to scale at all, at all, at all. So don't look on it and say that look like it bigger. No, it's not drawn to scale. So how much is this? Down here, so
400 miss.
why? Who tell us it? Why can we assume it's 400? Isn't it the same distance? Isn't this the same as this up here? Don't this and this must be the same length? Because these are perpendicular. So whatever distance across here is the same distance across here. So how much is this distance? This part is 6 centimeters. This part is what? It have to be 2 like that.
Oh yes, there's a little strokey.
The
I didn't
strokes
see
are
you say
there.
that.
So this is 2 centimeter. This is 2. So
Oh,
that means this distance is 6 plus 2, which is 8, right? So
Yes,
this
miss.
is also 8 centimeters. So what we know so far, we have 400 centimeters, 8 centimeters. Like I said, it's not drawn to scale. So now look on it and say, then oh, that's a 400 and this a 8, and them look like the same size. We have to go by what we are given, not what it look like. So we have 400 centimeters, 8 centimeters, 400 centimeters, 6 centimeters, 2 centimeters. So all we need now is this to complete it. So all we're going to find this curved piece right here. So use what you just did in the questions a while ago, that same principle, to find the arc. Remember, this is an arc. Imagine this circle right here. This circle will complete right there. So with the radius 2 centimeters. Find the circumference of that circle and divide it by 4 and you'll get the arc here. Because this is a quarter of the full circle that would have been here. So find the circumference and divide it by 4 and you will get this arc. So how much is that?
it's
Miss, can you rerun with me, please?
1.57.
Pardon me?
So, Miss, it would be
It's
um
1.57.
2 pi r. So 2 times
2 times 22
2,
over 7.
2 times 2 times 3.14. 12.56 divided by 4, 3.14. So the arc is 3.14.
Yes, miss.
So add that to the 2 and the 6 and the 400 and the 8 and the 400. How much
It's
you
eight
get?
hundred and 9.14.
Did everybody get that? 809.14. Are
Yes,
we all on
miss.
board with that?
Yes.
So is it
Yes,
3.14
miss.
plus 2 plus 6 plus 400
I forgot to add the
plus
2.
8
I miss it's
plus 400.
811. So I didn't add 2. So it's 811.14.
You sure?
Yes, yes. So I left out the 2.
What everybody else getting?
3.14 plus 2 plus 6 is 400. It's 400.
Miss 319 plus 1 4.
I'm getting
800,
819.
sorry, 819 plus 1
Yeah,
point 14.
819.14. Everybody on board with that?
Yes, miss.
We have 2 to go. So here's the
Yes, miss.
middle one. All right, so find the perimeter of the middle one.
Is it 47.1 meter?
Miss, I
Huh?
got 32,
32.
32
What
meters.
on what you add?
Miss, I add 10.
So that's this 10
Yes, miss. And
plus what?
the 4 and the 4 and little curve is 2 meters. So that's
How you know that the little curve is 2?
miss because the little that around
Huh?
in the little squares in the box in the
Me not hear the
Yes,
last
miss.
part. So you're
It's 4
saying
plus
this
4 is
curve
8
is
and
2?
2 equal. Yes,
You're
yes,
miss.
miss.
saying this curve is 2? It's not though. It's not 2.
Really?
It's not 2. The straight
No?
line across here is 2. This is 2. Since all of that is 10, and that's 4, and that's 4. So this straight distance across here is 2. But this curve is
How,
not 2.
Oh,
how is
This curve is not 2. How we going to find this curve?
Let's use the bathroom, please.
Hurry up and come back. Class soon done.
Okay.
How we going to work out the distance of this curve? Imagine that this curve is the half of a circle. Look at it. It's half of a circle. You see that?
Yes, miss.
yes, miss. Yes, miss. So,
So use this diameter here. This would be the diameter of the circle. Use that diameter times pi to get the full circumference of that circle and divide it by 2 and you'll get here.
miss, repeat, miss.
The diameter is 2.
Yes,
Straight
miss.
across here is 2. That's the diameter.
is that 3.14?
So 2 times 3.14. And if we're going to divide it by 2, we're going to end up with 3.14, right?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so this is 3.14. So add that now to the 4 and the 4 and the 6 and the 6 and the 10.
Miss 33.14 meters.
Okay, what you guys got? Same thing?
I got
So
33.14.
3.14 plus 4 plus 4 plus 6.
Yes, miss. 33.14.
Okay.
Same.
Dynamore wants me to write on the paper. I'll be writing on the paper next class, okay? I
Yeah, yes.
promise. The last question. Very one. What's the diameter of this shape?
Okay. Oh, they give us the diameter for the circles and stuff. So
Yes, ma'am. I like how you're thinking, ma'am. I like how you're
okay,
thinking. So
Miss.
they give you the diameter of the circle. All right, continue.
So
So
we're going
pan
to find.
What you going to do with that information?
Miss, we're going to find the
So I find the circumference and then divide it by 2.
Why would you divide it by 2?
Miss, because it's not a full circle,
Which is
is a
it?
half of a circle.
All right.
42.68.
What you said, Dreshan?
Wait a minute.
Say that again,
Need to put my
Dreshan.
bracket. I just have to put my bracket.
Hmm?
I mean, I have to put my bracket.
All right, listen,
Oh,
guys. You
this
see,
is
if it
it.
was
26 point. It's 26.68.
for what?
It's the perimeter. Miss, I
For this
did.
one? For the third one?
Yes, miss.
How did you get that?
Miss, I did pi times the diameter. And, what did I get for that? Oh. And miss, I added it to, no, miss, I divided it by 2. And then miss added it to 12.10. 12 plus 10 plus 10.
But that don't complete the distance around. But listen, guys,
But
here's why you shouldn't divide it by 2 this time. You
because
see if
it's
it you see if
two
it was just
circles,
one of these,
Mrs. Two, yay!
yeah, if it was just one of these, you would divide it by 2, but it's 2 of them, so it make a complete circle if you put the 2 of them together. You see that? So if you just find the circumference, it represents this plus this because they have the same diameter. So that's why this time we don't even need to divide it by 2. Just use the diameter to find the circumference and we automatically have this and this. And then we just need to add that to the 20, the 10, the 12, the 10, and this little part. So how much is this little part here, so?
Miss, you would add 3.4 and 3.4 and subtract them from 12.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Imani eat our dinner this evening, chef fire. So how much is this?
Miss, that, oh, 5.2, Miss.
All right. Everybody see how we get that? So we add this and this and take it from the full 12. So add up them then. So the 5.2.
47.876 meters.
So everybody get that? The 5.2 plus these 2 which represent the circumference that you got. We never had to divide it by 2 because it's 2 of them. So it's like we have a complete circumference. So the 5.2 plus the circumference plus 10 plus 12 plus 10. So I need
That's
to make sure
44.
everybody get the same thing.
That's miss.
Where you get?
So I got 44.
Hmm?
So I got 44.
44. And you got what, Imani?
47.876.
So all now get different things. Let's work it together.
Okay.
So the diameter was 3.4, right?
Yes, miss.
Times 3.14, and that's the circumference.
Yes, miss, which is
And we add that to the
10.6.
10 plus 10 plus
Oh
12
yes, this is 47.2.
plus what? 2.8? 2 point what? 2.8
Miss plus
Um,
5.2.
or
it's
5.2?
5.2. Yes, miss, it's 47.2.
47.876.
Yes, I got
Ah,
that. I got that.
Okay,
I got
47.876. All
that
right.
47.2.
then.
Uh-uh.
Mm,
We're going to do another perimeter class next week for the formula class. And then we're going to go into area.
Area.
So area of the square, rectangle, trapezium, parallelogram, all of them subject. Plus the area of the circle, right?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so I will see you tonight at midnight.
Yeah, I
So
don't
go
want
and
to.
get some rest. Go and get some rest, drink some water, all of that good stuff, so that you're ready for 12.
Miss,
Huh?
friend isn't here, so John will say it.
Not hearing nutrition.
huh?
Remember,
Mama
we're
said I
not
didn't say
just
anything.
solving math problems, we're changing lives.
Oh, it's Amari. Okay. Go ahead,
John,
Amari.
John.
Or is John?
Miss, it's John. Remember, we're not just solving math problems, we're changing lives.
We're not just solving math problems, we are changing lives. Day by day, minute by minute, we're changing lives. Thank you, sir. I will
You're
see you
welcome.
at midnight.
Yes, miss.
I'll see you at midnight. All right. Take care, guys.
Yes,
Bye, miss.
yes, miss.
Bye, miss.
All right. I remember we're doing 60 questions tonight, 60 multiple choice questions tonight.
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Hello, CSEC math students. I know you are busy preparing for your math tests and your CSEC exams coming up. Very important question to ask you. Do you have a new hat? No, another important question. Have you ever gotten a math wrong simply because of making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. In this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the topics in CSEC math. We're going to look at the common errors, everything. Make sure you watch every video in this series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So stay tuned. Hello, Scott. Did you know that most times when students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single error or one mistake? Well, this is absolutely true, and we're going to be looking at the common errors that students make in the different topics in mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, we can certainly avoid making them. Are you